Sean Pickett with Sales Integrity here. Thank you for listening to the Sales Integrity Podcast. I created a free course for you titled 7 Steps to Master the Game of Complex Technical Selling. To claim your free course, just visit mastercomplexselling.com. Again, that's mastercomplexselling.com, or simply text the word SI course to the number 44222. Again, that's SI as in Sales Integrity. So SI course, all one word with no space in between SI and course. Otherwise, you'll get an error message back. So simply text the word SI course to the number 44222. Now let's jump into the podcast. You ever get up in the morning, get out of bed and stub your toe and say, oh, great, it's going to be one of those days? Or worse yet, you stayed up too late the night before, you overslept your alarm, you got up late, now you're rushing to get out of the house, and all of a sudden Murphy's Law kicks in. What could go wrong does go wrong. Every red light on the way to work, and sure enough, everything bad's happening to you. Well, if those things happen, I'm going to share with you a little-known secret, actually a well-known secret. It's not really a secret, I guess, because everyone knows it, but of the most wealthy, successful entrepreneurs and people in the world. And being a coach in the sales profession, coaching sales professionals, it's the same principle that applies for the top sales achievers that we've ever coached at Sales Integrity. And what that is establishing a powerful morning routine. All of the most successful people that I've ever met and that I've ever read about or researched, they all have that one thing in common where they get up early and they have a set morning routine that is a ritual for them that gets them in the right frame of mind. In that way, anything that does pop up that would be seemingly a negative event doesn't affect them because they have control over their mind and their temperament for the day. And it all starts with this morning routine. So I thought for today's episode, what would be a very good focal point for us is to review how to establish a powerful morning routine. So I thought, what better way to describe a good morning routine and give you a little bit of a framework by walking you through what I do each morning. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through step by step just to give you a little bit of a framework. You can apply this to yourself or match it up with what you're doing in the morning. See if you can grab maybe one new idea if you are getting up early and trying to seize the day, before the sun shines. So first thing I do is I get up by 5 a.m. or sometimes earlier. Sometimes I just naturally wake up, between 4:30, 4:45, but I have the alarm set at 5 in case it gets to that point. And I make sure that, a good morning routine starts with a good evening routine the night before. So I make sure that I get to bed at a decent hour and read some positive, inspirational material as I go to bed the night before. So I try to start going to bed around 9:30, getting ready for bed. I get in bed at 10 and I start reading a little bit. And by 10:30, lights are out and I'm sleeping. So then I'll get up, somewhere between 4:30 and 5, no later than 5 a.m. Do the normal, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, get dressed, all that good stuff. And then one of the first things I do is I hydrate because you're dehydrated after sleeping all night. And I'm going to go work out at the gym right away. So I got to make sure I'm hydrated. So I drink 24 ounces of water. And then off to the gym I go. And I did an episode a week or two ago about Brian Tracy's book, Eat That Frog. And, basically what that means is, don't procrastinate, do the toughest task that you have on your list for the day right away. Well, for me, I personally know if I don't go to the gym right away in the morning and have good intentions to say, hey, I'll go after work or go during lunch, the day gets busy and that doesn't happen. So for me, it's a non-negotiable task that I just go to the gym right away. So I go to the gym, I get a workout in, and then when I come back from the gym, I mix up a protein-powered breakfast shake. So I eat breakfast. So that's one thing that I do there. And then I fire up the coffee because, after all, coffee's for closers, right? Everybody knows that. So I fire up some coffee, and then I go to what I call my meditation room. So I have a room kind of set aside where comfy chair in there, and I sit down and this, of course, is after feeding the dog because the dog is in the meditation room and he'll drive me nuts and not let me focus on the rest of the routine if I don't feed him. So I feed the dog, then I sit down with my coffee, my breakfast shake, and I go through a little ritual I call my personal development power hour. So it's an hour of focused time to really kind of get my head on straight. I'm going to walk you through what that looks like. And a lot of this could be summarized very well. I came across a book and a gentleman who wrote the book years after I was already doing this. This just helped me kind of shore up what my routines and rituals were and kind of adding some things and improving it. But the author is Hal Elrod, and he wrote the book Miracle Morning. And if you haven't read that book or heard of Hal, I strongly recommend. He's got a podcast called Achieve Your Goals. His book is Miracle Morning, and it really walks you through why you want to do what I'm outlining here today and have a powerful morning routine and start your day off right every day. So he walks through all the reasoning behind it, but more importantly, he provides a framework, kind of like what I'm doing here, but he really provides some details behind it and gives you a really good framework to leverage in creating and establishing your own powerful morning routine. So strongly recommend Hal's book, The Miracle Morning. The other thing that's kind of interesting is he wrote a second version of that with another gentleman. I don't know what his name is, but he wrote an updated version of it just for salespeople. So it's The Miracle Morning for Salespeople. That's what it's called. Fastest way to take yourself and your sales to the next level. So, Ryan Snow is the other co-author. So Hal Elrod and Ryan Snow. So the Miracle Morning for Salespeople, I'd recommend Miracle Morning, or if obviously my audience are salespeople, so go check that one out. Full disclosure, I haven't read that updated version yet for salespeople, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to add that to my arsenal of books I'm reading. So that's one that I'd recommend. I know for sure that Miracle Morning's excellent, so I can't imagine this would not be good. I'm sure it's going to be real good as well, that Miracle Morning for Salespeople. So this will walk you through routine. But what I do when I'm in my meditation room and doing my personal development power hour, first thing I do, surprise, surprise, is meditate. And when it comes to meditation, I use an app for that because I didn't really know how to meditate, right? I mean, I've heard of it and I kind of studied up on it and looked at some YouTube videos and all that stuff, but I really, really didn't understand how to meditate. And I think most people that have heard of meditation understand that all the top, most successful people in the world start their day off by meditating and even inserting that into their daily routines. If anyone watches the show Billions, for instance, the main character, meditates there and has a room for that. So, it's even in some popular shows about, wealthy, successful people as well. And there's no mistake behind that. The writers of the show probably studied, successful, top, wealthy people in the world, and all of them meditate, so that's something that you should, I kind of looked at that and said, maybe I should study that and incorporate that into my morning routine. Hal recommends that as well. So that's what I did. So I went and got this app. You can get an app on your phone, and it's called Calm. So if you get an app called Calm, there's a woman named Tamara Levitt who kind of guides you through. It's guided meditation. It has the nice music in the background. It's something, it's awesome because it's only 10 minutes. So it's kind of time for 10-minute intervals of meditating. They have a free version of that, and there's a paid version with a lot more different types of meditations. But nonetheless, I start off meditating 10 minutes. And I kind of go around the horn. I go 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes of these things I'm walking through here. So I do 10 minutes of meditation. And then for those that are spiritual and, like to start the morning off either reading the Bible or praying, you can incorporate that in. If you're not, then that's not necessary, of course. So do what suits you well there. But you could do 10 minutes of prayer if that suits you. And then the next thing is journaling. And Hal recommends this, and I think he might have recommended this next app I'm going to tell you about, but it's called the 5-Minute Journal. And this 5-Minute Journal is a really, really good app because it really, it simplifies the process of journaling. What are 3 things I'm going to accomplish today? What are 3 things I'm appreciative of? So it has kind of a 3x3 model. And then a positive affirmation quote, something you're going to write out that helps you really focus, for the day. What's your key theme for the day? So it's really a simplified application. Again, it's an app you can download on your tablet or your phone and take it with you, and then just use it during that personal development power hour. And again, I do even though it's a 5-minute journal, I do it for about 10 minutes because I like to reflect on it, just get in the right mindset there. And then I go into reading. So reading is the absolute next thing that I do. I'll mix up, 10 minutes of positive, inspirational book. So I'll have that, sitting on the table there next to my chair. And then I'll do another 10 minutes of reading something kind of business focused as I'm starting to shift from getting my mind focused, getting my head on straight and getting positive and optimistic with getting into the business day. So I'll read something that's business related, either sales, success related, sales improvement related, even technology related. So something along those lines there. I'll do that, and then I'll finish up, and I'm done with my personal development power hour there. So Hal in his book mixes it up and talks about adding in 10 minutes of exercise there. I already go to the gym and do about 45 minutes of it, just under an hour of exercise and lifting weights and some cardio and things like that. So for me, I don't incorporate it in when I get into my meditation room and going around the horn there. So that's just something to keep in mind. And what I wanted to end with is I've got this infographic where it talks about how successful entrepreneurs start their day, and just some well-known entrepreneurs that they have on here. It talks about learning the daily rituals and hobbies of some of the most successful and richest minds in the world. And the first one they start off with is Richard Branson. Everybody knows Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group. He swims early in the morning or kite surfs, then he proceeds to a healthy breakfast. He's worth $5.1 billion. And he has a quote here. It says, "I leave the curtains undrawn and the sun comes up at 5:45 a.m. and straight in my eyes. I love bouncing up early." So that's just Richard Branson's kind of routine. Warren Buffett advocates reading 500 pages a day because that's how knowledge builds up, like a compound interest. He still lives in a modest house he bought 40 years ago and is disconnected from social media. So he has his rituals, his routines. They don't even include social media. He's worth $66.7 billion with his Berkshire Hathaway companies. And he has a nice quote here about getting in the right mindset and just kind of the way you think about your life. It takes 20 years to build reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about it that way, you will do things differently. Steve Jobs, when he was alive, the co-founder, chairman of Apple, he would start his day with an honest question in the mirror. He also advocated minimalism, from furnishing his house to the clothes he wore. I think everyone know he always wore the same thing, a black shirt and slacks there, or jeans. I mean, so that he was worth $10.2 billion upon his death in 2011. His quote is, "I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something." So that's just some of the most successful minds. Just wanted to kind of share that with you as we wrap up the episode here. And just to summarize, wake up early, move, get a workout in, eat healthy, hydrate, get some water in you, meditate. So that's getting your body right. This is now getting your mind right. Meditate, journal, read. And then if you do all that before each day, you're really going to establish a powerful morning routine that's going to put you in the right mindset, give you the right energy to go out there and really seize the day and dominate your day and really, really be good at what you're doing there. So just thought I would share that with you today. I think that's applicable for all sales professionals, sales leaders that are out there. Establish a powerful morning routine. So now let's end this episode with a few quick reminders. First, we recently launched 2 new B2B tech sales professional groups, one on LinkedIn and one on Facebook. Just search for B2B tech sales professionals on either LinkedIn or Facebook, or both if you want to join both groups, and join the conversation with your peers there. Second, if you haven't already subscribed to our free 7-day video email course titled 7 Steps to Master the Game of Complex Technical Selling, then you can do so by visiting mastercomplexselling.com. Again, that's mastercomplexselling.com, or you can text the word SI course, so as in sales integrity, SI course, all one word with no spacing in between. If you send it with a space between SI and course, you'll receive an error message back. So text the word SI course to the number 44222. After subscribing, we will send you your first lesson via email right away on day 1, and then one for the next 6 days. Third, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud. Just search for the Sales Integrity Podcast with Sean Pickett, and it should pop up and allow you to subscribe on one of those 2 channels. After you subscribe, please provide a quick 5-star rating and simple 1 to 2 sentence review to help others find the show. To provide a review on iTunes isn't as simple as you think. You can't do so directly within the podcast. what you have to do is actually click on the search icon, then type in Sales Integrity, and you will see my podcast there. Now, I'm referring to the purple podcast icon. When you click on that on your iPhone, brings up the main podcast center. Down below, you'll see the search icon. So click on that, type in Sales Integrity, and you'll see the podcast there. Click on the podcast. In it, you'll see the reviews tab in the middle there. Just click on that. And once there, you could provide a 5-star rating and simple 1 or 2 sentence review. Now, since iTunes prioritizes shows with the most ratings and reviews higher than those that have just a few of them, this will dramatically help the show be found by more people. So I greatly appreciate it. And finally, please share the podcast with your colleagues and friends who would find it relevant. You can do so by going to salesintegrity.com and click on the Sales Integrity Podcast menu link at the top of the page. All of the podcasts are there, and it provides you a way to click a button and share any episode, whether via email directly to individuals, or there's buttons there to share it on the various social media sites, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc. So I would greatly appreciate it if you spread the word about the show on social media to help grow it. And finally, that'll do it for today's episode. Now go out there in the sales world today and help your prospects and customers buy what they want, what they need, and what benefits them. And most importantly, go out there and make it a great day.